Look, Jayson Tatum is the real deal. I've been telling you that all year. I've been telling Nick with his little tier ladder and all that stuff. Jayson Tatum is legit, okay? This disappointing, poor season from the Boston Celtics should not be a reflection on him. It's more of a reflection, sorry, Jenna, on what Danny Ainge has built or failed to build, all right? A reflection on Brad Stevens not getting the most out of his team this year. A reflection on Kemba Walker's knee hampering him for most of the year. Kemba's actually starting to come around and play better last night. Obviously played great last night. And Jayson Tatum battled COVID and said that it took away his wind for several weeks. All right, so this dude is legit. He's 23 years old. Last night there were 3 stars on the court. All right. And he outshined the 2 veteran stars, Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. Scored more points than them combined. Scored more points in the third quarter than either of them, including Beal, who averaged 31 this year, scored in the entire game. And that's when he broke the game open in the third quarter. Here's the thing. He has the entire package offensively. And I think even Nick will admit this. He's 6'9". He's got the nice handle where he can get to wherever he wants on the court. He can shoot the 3 very well. He can shoot the mid-range. He can get to the hole and finish. He's athletic. I don't know what's not to like about his offensive package. This guy is a future superstar. I don't know that Scott Brooks is right about him being a future MVP, but he will be a superstar. There's nothing not to love about Jayson Tatum.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Broussard. You did all that, and then you agreed with me. Because NBA superstars are like wonders of the world. There's less than 10, and as soon as you expand it, they all lose value. And so here are 11 guys that unanimously everyone agrees are better than Tatum. LeBron, KD, Embiid, Giannis, Luka, Steph, Harden, Dame, Kawhi, Jokic, and Anthony Davis. That's 11. And then you've got, Kyrie, Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler. I would have them ahead of him. So now now the best you could be is 15th. And then in that 15th group is guys like Paul George, Zion, Bam, Russ, Beal, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. He's in that group. Guys that maybe might be superstars one day, or in Russ's case, for example, were a superstar once upon a time, but are not anymore. But that doesn't take away from what he did last night. It was a signature performance of his career. But Broussard's point on Ainge, and by the way, I can't believe Broussard at the very end just agreed Nick's been right all along. Not yet a superstar. Might be one day, not yet a superstar. So Tatum, go at Broussard's throat like you're going at mine. But yes, the answer, Wilds, is of course, this is great for Jayson Tatum and his teammates and Brad Stevens. This is going to end up being very painful for Celtic fans because their reward is the Nets and getting to see Kyrie, who scorned them, cook them for 4 or 5 games, and the Nets franchise, who they laughed at. Oh, look, Billy King, the heist, and now they're going to be moving on and you're going to be going home. And it's awful for Ainge because that it is not Wild's fair to say Celtics, why aren't you as good as Philly? Why aren't you as good as Milwaukee? Why aren't you as good as Brooklyn? It's not fair to ask them that because the answer is Joel Embiid, Giannis, Kevin Durant, Harden, whatever, whoever you think the best player is. Tatum is not that tier of player, and those guys are all MVPs, right? Or future MVPs in Embiid's case. But it is fair to say, why the hell were you 500 and the Hawks 10 games over? Why were you 500 and the Knicks 10 games over? Why were you 500, Danny Ainge, and the team your arch nemesis Pat Riley rebuilt, Miami, almost 10 games over 500 despite dealing with many issues all through the year? That's the group of teams that this Celtics team, when you've got future superstar Jayson Tatum, all-star Jaylen Brown, understood he's injured right now, but you had him for the bulk of the season. Why are you in the play-in game and the Hawks aren't? Why is Jayson Tatum going to struggle to make All NBA because of the lack of team success, and Julius Randle might be second team because of his team success? That's the bittersweet portion of this, Wilds, for the Celtics. It's like, man, this guy is awesome, and he had Jalen throughout the year. So why the hell were we 36-36? And the answer is because the team was built very, very poorly.
Yeah, and the team lacks a little bit of like the Ubuntu that Kevin Garnett used to talk about with the '08 Celtics, that like little certain something special. And I know Simmons and Jackie McMullen had a podcast, and they were talking about the Celtics' ills, Broussard, and it was the lack of sort of another Marcus Smart type of player, like the Jay Crowder who they traded away, and the sort of like the other role guy to keep and push Jayson Tatum forward, to push Jaylen Brown forward, so when they drop down by 10, the whole team doesn't just kind of lose the energy come out of the building. But, Broussard, I want to push back on you for a little bit what you said at the end of your opening segment here, where you said he's a superstar, but you don't think he could be MVP. Well, do you think those things are contradictory? Like, can you be a superstar and not ever become an MVP, or like he just doesn't have MVP potential in your mind? Or is that another tier, superstar and then MVP tier?
Well, first, I wasn't saying he can't be an MVP. I was saying I'm sure he'll be a superstar. I'm not sure he'll win the MVP award, like Scott Brooks said, I think he said it last night. So that is a separate tier for sure, because we can name Kyrie Irving's a superstar. He won't win an MVP. All right, we can name several superstars who never won or won't win an MVP. Isaiah Thomas, I mean, that was a different era, but exactly. We can go on and on. I think he's capable, though.
What makes Kyrie?
I think he'll have a chance.
What makes Kyrie a superstar over Jayson Tatum?
Well, one, Kyrie has the greatest, this is not the main thing, but the greatest handle of all time. Kyrie has won a championship and hit arguably the greatest shot in NBA history. It's either that or Ray Allen's shot in Miami. And he averaged 27 in that series, too. I mean, Kyrie is an elite. Kyrie's a future Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. Kyrie's one of the best point guard finishers we've ever seen at the rim. He can score in every single way. Does anybody doubt that Kyrie Irving is not a superstar?
Are all Hall of Famers superstars?
No.
See, the problem here, I'm coming into the court. Hey, Jason, I got this, baby boy. Don't worry about it. I'm coming in hot to the courtroom right now. The problem with y'all cats on this show and what y'all doing right now is that you are taking a label that is totally subjective, and you're diminishing the brilliance and the greatness of Jayson Tatum on this segment, and I will not have that. I think that Jayson Tatum is a superstar. Jayson Tatum is, and he's a young superstar. And you know why? Because
that's a qualifier,
and what we say, that is a qualifier. I learned that from you. Hey, listen, so with that being said, would we not say that Jayson Tatum is the franchise player for the Boston Celtics? Would we not say that? He is the franchise player for the Boston Celtics, which in essence, if you're the franchise player for one of the most historically successful franchises in the history of the game and in professional sports, I would have to say, just off of that alone, just off of his draft status, he comes in as a superstar if you're looking at this from a subjective eye in terms of what he represents. It doesn't have, being a superstar does not have to be qualified by being an all-star. Being a superstar doesn't have to be qualified by championships. All those things, they work. But you listen to Jayson Tatum, he's a soft-spoken dude, and he's not as extroverted and as dynamic in terms of personality-wise as maybe the media would like for him to be. But make no mistake about it, from a subjective standpoint of what a superstar is, Jayson Tatum checks off all of the boxes. And I do not agree with you guys doing what you're doing right now with a subjective conversation topic line and making it seem as though know, he has to do all of these crazy things and accomplishments-wise to actually be considered a superstar. I will not have it. Jason, I got you,
Can
dog.
I say something?
I got you.
To
No,
LeVar?
I don't want to hear what y'all have to say anymore. No, I'm joking.
I'm very
joking.
glad
That's not how it works.
LeVar did that. I'm really glad LeVar did that because what is true, and this is the same thing that happened, we didn't do it on this show, but on a lot of shows, right after the Hall of Fame is announced, it's like that's the time to talk about why Ben Wallace wasn't actually as great as people say he was. So Jayson Tatum just had the best game of his career in a massive spot. And it is my natural inclination, and I got Broussard to go down the road with me to talk about guys who are better than him. So I'm glad LeVar brought it in, like, hey, celebrate the guy. He had a great night, and maybe one day he actually will be a superstar. He obviously isn't yet, but one day he might be.
And so way too far.
You're going to bring it back to the
way
original
too
point,
far.
though. I like it, Nick.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.